Hello learners, today in design thinking we are going to study uh, creativity and creative thinking. So what is creativity and creative thinking? This is best expressed by the quotation of former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He writes, when learning is purposeful, creativity blossoms. When creativity blossoms, thinking emanates. When thinking emanates, knowledge is fully lit. And when knowledge is lit, economy flourishes. How beautifully he connected learning or purposeful learning to creativity, and then creativity to knowledge, and further its contribution to the economy, society. So creativity is such a wonderful tool a human being is endowed with, the help of which he or she can contribute himself or herself, his or her society and economy. Creativity is defined by Wiley in 2013 in the words, creativity is the capability or act of conceiving something original or unusual. Act of conceiving something original or unusual. Take the meaning. To conceive something original, that has not been already discovered or already present. That is the creativity. When somebody, makes architecture of some, building or bridge or structure, it may be creative. When somebody makes a painting, it may be fully creative. When somebody writes a poem, it may be fully creative. It is the ability to generate a thought or an idea that is completely new, appealing and useful. So this is what the ability that is known as creativity is, which brings up a completely new thought or an idea. Third point is generating creativity means allowing people to think outside the box and go against the norm sometimes. That means, creativity can be flourished by letting people think out of box. If an organization allows its employees to think beyond fixed, periphery, boundary of thoughts, which is socially acceptable, then creativity flourishes. So that means it's very easy to favor established thoughts and say yes, I do agree. But it is really difficult when you ask a question, why? Why can't it happen? So that is how people have to think, and organization have to let people think like that. I was watching several videos today about rolling animals. How creative they were in making such nice videos in which, they showed cartoons of just round shaped animals. And they imagined like if all the animals had been in round shape, what would have been problems with such animals. And they are really very, humorous kind of. And that just makes you think how people can imagine a world How just as how they imagined when animals, if animals had been round in shape, what would have been issues, problems, and how would have been the world around. So that's what the creativity is. The fourth point here is that innovation doesn't happen without creative people on board. This means that that's true that innovation doesn't begin with creativity. It begins with curiosity. But after curiosity, when innovation takes place, that is never possible without creativity. That's why it is said that innovation is done only by the people who are really creative. So this is what the creativity is. Now let's see how many types of creative thinking is. So the first one here we can see that is divergent thinking. Sorry, it is really little broad. So divergent thinking. Divergent thinking means it is a thought process or method used to generate creative ideas by exploring many possible solutions of a problem. So in divergent thinking, what happens, for a problem we need to explore as many ideas as possible. So this is based on the hypothesis that for any problem there are n number of solutions. So now just see, take example of persons who commit suicide, and take examples of those who say that, hey, I don't have any solution to my problems. My problems are really unique and nobody else can offer me any solution as I don't have any solution. So when we become so much introvert, when we become so much confined, we don't go for these solutions, whereas there are n number of solutions for any problem. Just make sure of it. So divergent thinking is thinking which offers, which lets you think so many solutions for a particular problem, which can offer you so many answers to a particular question. Then the second one is lateral thinking. What is this lateral thinking? Exploring new ideas, thinking outside the box. Exploring new ideas. That is the lateral thinking, thinking outside the box. Many a time people ask, what does outside of the box means? Outside of the box means nothing else but thinking beyond the boundary of social norms, boundary of easily acceptable facts. Just as when somebody asks you how online classes can be done, you can offer solutions like Google Meet, WebEx, Microsoft Meets, then Zoom. Such kinds of platforms you can offer, Microsoft Teams, such kinds of platforms you can offer. But can you dare to say something else beyond this? And can you dare to say that, hey, we can have some better solutions? Hey, we can have some better platform for online learning and teaching? Probably you don't dare. Why? Because you will think that if you go and say this, People may call you fool, stupid, idiot, mad, something like that. And that you don't want to be called. Why? Because you have just made perception about your image. You are very conscious about your image. That people may not call you stupid, as you are very conscious about your image of a genius person, image of an intelligent person. So if you speak like this, if you offer solutions which can give reflections of some stupidity, and that you don't want to accept, afford, as you are cautious about your image, conscious about your image of intelligent man. So we have to go out of this. We have to dare to break our image of intelligent person by offering new ideas, creative ideas. And that's why only it is said that innovations are done by the mad people. Creative things, most creative things have been done by the stupids, stupid people. That is why it is being said. So organizations have to offer such platforms in which employees may not be worried about their image, and when companies or organizations go for brainstorming, that is the session of ideation for any particular issue, problem, question, it should be a premise that provide as much as a stupid idea you can. That means no idea is a stupid idea. Speak whatever comes straight to your mind. Speak. That is how this lateral thinking, is encouraged. Then the next one is aesthetic thinking. It is considering or probably appreciating something. That is aesthetic. Things of beauty, things of art, artistic things, designer things. Maybe painting, maybe beautiful structure, a design of car, design of bike, or something like that. Any prototype. When you appreciate or when you consider something which is really beautiful, looking beautiful, maybe it is a poetry, poem, a painting, a structure, anything such which deserves. That thinking is called aesthetic thinking. Imaginations flourish, imaginations appear in the form of some artistic work, beautiful work. Then next comes systems thinking. Systems thinking means thinking 360 degree, thinking in 360 degree perspective. Viewing things in 360 degree perspective. That means we have to think that things are not in linear way, like from A to Z, just a linear A, B, C, D. No, this should not be like this. This is like, this 360 degree approach. This is not like this linear approach. That is what this is. Everything is connected. Here you see that everything is connected. So that is what the systems thinking is. That means whatever articles, goods are around us, they can be connected to each other. A is connected to B, B is connected to C, C is connected to D, and finally Z, and Z is in turn connected to A. This shows the interrelationships of things. What Alexa does. Alexa is connected to the things at home. your television, your speaker, your air conditioner, your geyser, your tube lights connected with Alexa. Now, before sometimes nobody had thought of connecting things like this. But today, at our home, we are managing with the help of Google Home or Alexa. So now the researches are going on so much in the area of Internet of Things, IoT. And that IoT is nothing else but the interrelationships, intercommunication of the things around us. That is the Internet of Things, which makes things communicate with each other. That is the systems approach, systems thinking, 360-degree perspective of thinking. The next one is abstract thinking, like some poetic work. Imaginations are there. They are not in physical form. Like an author writes, a book. A novelist writes a novel. Things have not been there. Things are not there. But there are, actors. There are roles. People come in, play the role, and the whole picture is there. That is the abstract thinking. And finally, the design thinking. Design thinking is actually the applying strategy, problem solving, and decision making to the process of design. And that is what the subject we are studying here. Design thinking is pertinent because, organizations, provide products to the market. And their products are meant for solving any problem of the society, problem of the consumers. Then only their products are needed. Products are nothing else but the solution of the problems in the society. So organizations are focusing on design thinking so as to offer the products of, products with best suitability to the customer's needs, consumers' needs, in terms of features, in terms of attributes, in terms of prices, in terms of designs. So the design thinking is, applying all such things like strategy, problem solving approaches, doing decision making, and offering wonderful products, unique products, innovative products to this society. That is what is the typology of design, creative thinking. Now, what are the modes of thinking? Here we are studying three types of thinking. First, two types of opposite thinking, that is divergent thinking, convergent thinking. Divergent thinking is what? In fact, thinking. Ideate. There is a question. And now you are trying to find out n number of solutions to that question. So that is what the divergent thinking is. This is basically the use of imagination. Imagine how many ideas you can imagine. Imagine how many solutions to that particular question you can imagine. That is what the divergent thinking is. Using imaginations, no matter how wild an idea is, no matter how stupid an idea is. This is also called, horizontal thinking. On the other hand, convergent thinking, that uses in fact the logic. Logic means when you have a question, you find out answers with the facts around you. Use logic. Earlier, when similar kind of problem was there, what were the solutions? Set of solutions, and out of that set of solutions, which solution was picked up? We should go for that kind of problem solving approach. That is, searching solution of the problem in the accepted boundary of the facts. Fixed social norms. You're not going to break any boundary. That is what the convergent thinking is. This is also called vertical or analytical or linear thinking. So now, what is the lateral thinking? Why lateral thinking is considered better than either than divergent thinking or than convergent thinking? Because lateral thinking is the thinking combining both divergent thinking on one hand, the use of imagination on one hand, and convergent thinking on the other. That means using logic. So this is not by using one kind of thinking, divergent or convergent. Rather, lateral thinking involves both divergent as well as convergent thinking to produce better solutions. That is, you are using imagination simultaneously logic to come up with the best possible solution, and that is in fact called out-of-box thinking. Now let's see what are the importance of creative thinking. Like, creative thinking is indispensable. Indispensable for us as human beings. If we really want to do something for which we satisfy ourselves, we can think that I have achieved something new, I have done something creative, then it is indispensable as an individual. But at the same time, it is indispensable for organizations, institutions, if they really want to compete. If they really want to become sustainable in the marketplace. Because until and unless they are creative, they cannot be innovative. And when they are not innovative, they cannot have a core strength, core competitive strengths. That is something. Then the second point is, it gives you freedom. Freedom means when you become creative, that means you break the boundary of accepted social norms, accepted knowledge, body of knowledge. That means you get free. You become a free thinker. That is how it can be called, that it gives you freedom. The third point is, creative thinking improves the problem solving process. That's true. Because if you're not a creative thinker, you are finding out solutions in the set of solutions already available. Maybe your problem is more complex. Maybe your problem is more of unique nature, just as now we are in COVID-19 era, in which we have seen that this COVID disease is really unique, for which no vaccination, no medications were available. This was just a unique problem to the entire world. So for that, if you are trying to find out solutions amongst the existing ones, if you are trying to find out vaccines, trying to use vaccines which are already available, they're not going to work. Because the problem is new, so the solutions cannot work. The existing solutions cannot work. Solutions will also be required to be new. That is what the point. This creative thinking improves problem solving process. The fourth point is creative thinking adds to leadership qualities. That's true. Steve Jobs was a creative person. That's why he could become exemplar of employees of his organization, not only employees of his organization, but for the entire world. And then he could show his leadership qualities because just he was having something to show the world, to show his own employees, to motivate his own employees. So that is what this point mean, that it really gives you the leadership qualities. Next point is it boosts productivity. This means if your organization encourages creative thinking, then there is good probability of your organization getting so many innovations every year. And if there are innovations, you could offer better products, better solutions to the customers, consumers, and finally your productivity will increase, which not only contribute to your company's revenue and profit, but also to the growth of economy. And not only this, but also this will make people happier because you are offering better solutions. So your organization being creative means your organization is going to be more productive, going to offer better solutions for the existing products, better products to the society, to the market, which is finally going to make people happier around you, society happier around you, and finally going to contribute to the economy. So this is what the importance of creativity or creative thinking is. And finally, the last slide is showing you how to enhance creativity or creative thinking of yours or your people. If you are individual, how you can improve your creative thinking, or if you are an organization, how can you motivate your people to be more creative thinkers? Just see quickly the points mentioned over here of increasing creative thinking. The first point says, pay attention to your strengths and live them. That means first of all, you have to identify your strengths and weaknesses and pay attention on your strengths, because your strengths can make you thinking in new dimensions. So that is the first point mentioned over here. Second point is that tap into your inner child and explore the qualities of purity of thoughts and spontaneity of expression. See a child who always, spontaneously give expressions, whatever he wants. Whenever he wants to cry, he cries. Whenever he wants to laugh, smile, he does. Without caring the people around, without caring what others will think of, without caring that people may think him stupid. A child doesn't bother, doesn't care. So you have to live your child. That is the biggest thing to be creative. Next point says, do not restrict yourself to habitual pattern. As I already told you, you have to break the boundary. You have to break the established social, you have to go out of the boundary of accepted social norms. And those social norms means maybe habitual pattern, which you have been doing since long, you have been comfortable, so you have to think differently. As Shukela rightly says, winners don't do different things, but actually they do things differently. What does this sentence mean? Creativity. Creativity. So never go for stereotypes. Think new. Next point is set your imagination free to explore and experiment. I mean, imagine, ideate. Imagine. Be inquisitive. Always ask questions. Why is a big question. Always ask yourself why. When you see anything, ask why. That is actually the childish behavior, childish habit. Child always asks so many questions to his parents. That is the habit which you have to inculcate. Next is be curious and inquisitive. I have told about it, about your surroundings. Be curious. Curiosity means asking question why. Asking so many questions is inquisitiveness. So be inquisitive, be curious. The next point is don't hesitate to take risk to further your abilities. No risk, no gain. High risk, high gain is said. But sometimes you can gain by taking calculated risk. Don't go for wild risk. But just remember this also, that without taking risk, the probability of gaining is little less. So you have to be ready for taking risk as well. Next point is get rid of negative attitudes that are blocking your creativity. Many a times, either you yourself or people around you will tell you, hey, this idea is not gonna work. This will not work. This is absolutely a stupid idea. You will really fail. Don't listen if this is your voice, or don't listen if this is voice of your people around you. Don't listen to it. Listen to your heart, which says you will really do wonders if you go to that idea. That is this. Get rid of negative ideas. No journey of success is without hurdles or without failures. So be ready for those hurdles and failures. But successful people reach the point they want to without caring those failures, those hurdles. That is one thing which you always remember. Next point is indulge in brainstorming to inspire new ideas. Do brainstorming. That means divergent thinking. Ideate. Think. Think as many ideas you can. Think as many solutions you can. Then comes the last point here. That is accept that a problem can have multiple solutions and explore every possibility. Never ever confine yourself one or two solutions. Always believe in multiple solutions and try to seek them out. That will definitely make you, a successful creative thinker. I'm sure you can do it. Now, the dynamics of creative thinking says that it can flow across every boundary of discipline. I mean, it may not be confined to management, engineering, medical science, something like that. It can flow across every boundary of discipline, time and culture. I mean, it is not confined to any time. It is not confined to any culture or any domain or any subject. These dynamics have profound implications for all organizations, including schools, institutions, organizations, whatsoever in which you really want to be creative or innovative, you can become. If you are in an institution, you can be creative. Your organization can be creative. If you are a corporate organization, there you can be creative. If you are a medical institute or hospital, you can be creative over there. Even at your home, you can be creative. In your office, you can be creative. This is what the dynamics of creativity or creative thinking is. So, my dear friends, that's all for today in the creativity or creative thinking lecture. I hope this might be beneficial for you. So thank you so much for watching this video full. And if you think that this knowledge piece deserves sharing, liking, then you don't hesitate in doing it. Thank you very much for watching.